Michael, you chose to do a musical on Marcus Garvey for Heritage Month,
Yeah.
essentially, but more importantly, Heroes Weekend.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to do it?
It's interesting that, there's so many things happening with Garvey right now because, the movement is on for him to be exonerated and all that type of stuff. But I decided to do it from a long time ago. And last year I did a production on Paul Bogle, Sam Sharp. So I wanted to fit Marcus Garvey into that one, but then when I started doing a lot of the readings on Garvey, I was like, no, he did so much, he did too much. It's almost like you couldn't fit his story in with anybody else. So I decided to do something special on Garvey. So this year I did the musical, Garvey the Musical, and it's telling the story of Garvey. It's not a linear biographical story, but it does show his story as it happened, meaning he, many people don't know how he died, that he actually was suffering. He had already had a stroke, and somebody wrote an obituary about him as if he had already died. He read his own obituary, and that's how he died. He had a heart attack. Some people say heart attack, some people say stroke, but that's how he died. So the story begins there, where he suffers this massive heart attack, let's call it, and then he goes into a space of limbo, and some African ancestors come to him from, where do they come from? They come to him in this space, and they start talking to him about, what is needed, and helping him to look forward into the present day. And he sees Rastafarian, he sees Uptown Lady, and a guy who bleach, who wants to be an artist, and he speaks to them, and he brings them into limbo so that he can talk to them, tell them his story and why he did what he did, and how he did what he did, and how they can make an impact on the world that they are living in now.
So the musical really is about him being in limbo,
yes,
talking to the current society.
Talking to the current society.
Okay. What are some of the messages that you convey?
It's black consciousness, of course, but not black consciousness to the, I'm not preaching about putting down anybody else. It's about empowerment. That's the most important thing, empowerment of people. And entrepreneurship. It's really Garvey's message of what we need to do, which is unite as black people. Not in the way, it's almost like I'm apologizing first, I'm becoming conscious of that. Let's put it another way. You know how Jamaicans say that the Chinese people pull together no matter what? That's basically what Marcus Garvey was asking us to do. And we accept it from the Chinese, we accept it from the Indians, but when black people are expected to pull together and they don't, it's like, then they're not going to do that anyway. But that's really what he was talking about, pulling together as a race, and feeling good about yourself. After 300 to 400 years of enslavement of Africans and colonialism, what you have is a people who have internalized self-hatred. And so in order to get that out of the system, out of the psyche of black people, you have to do something special. It can't just be business as usual and then you say, oh, okay, eventually they'll get over it. They've done research on the victims of the Holocaust, and the Holocaust took place for, it was 6 years, 6 years, and they found that the Holocaust, the experience itself, changed the DNA of the Jews. So can you imagine, over not 6 years, but over 300 years, it changed the DNA, and you look at black men who are, so many black men who are not able to relate to their families in particular ways. They said a black man, he leaves his wife, or he doesn't get married, he leaves his woman, he has children all over the place, he's not responsible for them. And it's a reflection of something. It's coming from somewhere. It's coming from how black men were taught that they should be, or felt that they had to distance themselves emotionally from children who were not really their own children. They were property just like them. They were themselves.
So coming out of your own studies, both theoretically and practically, because you are in the cultural industries, you're in the creative industries, what is the strongest lesson that you have out of this experience?
Empowerment. Again, I always go back to empowerment. Self-love, self-acceptance, self-care. If you're doing all three of those things, you're in good stead, because self-love means that if you're loving yourself, you cannot give what you don't have. So if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. You can't love your brother, your sister, you can't love your family, you can't take care of people in a particular way. Self-acceptance is also primary, because a lot of the times we would like to think we accept ourselves, but we don't. You know, we're always trying to fit into other people's shoes. And I personally believe if everybody gets an opportunity to be themselves, you wouldn't have chaos. What you'd have is a world that really works and functions as it should. Like me, for example, growing up, I went to Walmart and I did not do the arts. I was doing sciences straight up until fifth form, fail, repeat, and started doing the arts. And it just changed my life completely, because then I was doing what it was that I was born to do. You know, so I believe that self-acceptance, when you accept where you belong, what you should be doing, it changes your entire life, your entire world, your trajectory to success and getting where you want to get in life, it changes.
You would understand that there's a lot of crime and violence taking place now, and a lot of the crime and violence that's taking place, the perpetrators are under 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of the crimes that are committed in Jamaica are committed by our young people.
Mm-hmm.
What is your message to young people about empowerment? Talk to the young man and the young woman out there today in terms of how you believe they can really change their lives for the better.
Well, I would say that they just need to educate themselves. It's not a quick fix thing, but educating yourself. When I was growing up, I did not have access to Google. I did not have access to the internet in the way that young people have now. Now on the internet, you can learn practically anything in 6 months. You know, so young people have that opportunity to educate themselves, to lift themselves out of any situation that they're in right now, but also get information about things. If you look at yourself and your skin is black, and yet everything that you talk about blackness doesn't take you to the mountain top, but it takes you to a gully, then something is wrong with that. There is no other race that speaks down itself in the way that we do as black people. So I would say, look at it. Just think about that one thing, and what do you do? Where would you go if you could see yourself in a higher way? What would you want to do? Mm-hmm. And one of the things I always talk to young people as well, because I think one of the major issues is, just like myself, I did not follow my passion at first, and so I was going in the wrong direction. Once you know your passion, once you find something that motivates you, you find some sense of purpose in life, then you're on a path that is going to be impactful for both you and for everybody who come into your space.
So how do we get tickets to Marcus Garvey the musical, and what days is it showing?
It's at the Philip Sherlock Center. You can get tickets there at Philip Sherlock Center, University of the West Indies. It's showing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, which is Heroes Monday. So on Thursday it's at 3 o'clock. Friday 8, Saturday 8, Sunday 5 and 8, and then on Monday Heroes Day is at 5 o'clock.
Thanks, Michael. Always good talking to you. Good seeing you again.